So you've probably heard of the idea of shifting the way you offer your services from charging hourly to a membership or like some kind of container, but you've been really struggling to put together your package. I want to talk about how you can frame this in a way that it's actually in better service for your clients for you to offer a container versus piecemeal sessions or letting them schedule just kind of whenever they want or like a 10 pack. So a lot of times when we start out as service providers, a lot of the people I work with are like me. They're healers or some kind of facilitators in the healing industry. We start off just like taking clients. It's like someone wants a session with us, and then we just take the client and we book the session. And we rinse and repeat many, many times until all of a sudden we have a full client load. And then we have kind of a bunch of clients that we know clients are coming, but since they can randomly schedule whenever they want, we can't ever really relax into knowing money is going to come. And then along with that, there's other things that happen like clients aren't really doing their homework in between sessions. You feel that they may not be like fully invested or paying attention. And there's just this kind of like either frantic energy or feeling like you're having to go forward into your clients versus them coming to you. And so I know when I say, well, why don't you just switch your offerings to a 3-month container or a 6-month container? You'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. I can't ask that of my clients. What would I charge? Oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. And it's like about me and it's my worthiness. And I don't know how to do that. But when I say like, how would it feel and how much better could you serve your clients when you have a lot of time and space to really drop in, go slow, be really thorough to make sure that you're able to cover everything you need to cover? And also, what would happen for them if they committed to a certain amount of time with you, like 3 months or 6 months? Like, how much faster and how much more sustainable the results that they would get because they're committing to themselves and your time together. And then to you, I would say, how much better would it feel to know for sure that someone's not just invested in like money's coming in, but someone's really actually committed to doing the work, and you don't have to worry about squeezing in everything you know into like a 60-minute session because you don't know when your client's going to show up to have a session with you again. And then thinking about the expansiveness of like how nice it feels to know that you have plenty of time and also that you're being acknowledged and compensated for the energy that you hold in between sessions. Because when you hold ongoing containers for your clients, I don't care how good you are at clearing out energy or keeping space between you and your clients, you are holding a container in between sessions, whether you're charging that way or formatting your offers that way or not. And you're holding, there is an energy and an essence in your field when you're holding someone in a process, even between calls and even when you're not meeting together. For example, in my coaching containers, I offer one-off sessions and we would solve, some problems in one session. But if you commit to 6 months with me, I can change your fucking life. And so my containers are designed to give you the tools and me the tools to be able to actually drop in and thoroughly comb through not just the strategy that needs to be implemented, but the emotional piece to be able to actually integrate the changes you want to make sustainably and not take 2 steps forward and then pop back into like some self-sabotage or self-defense mechanism that will leave you second guessing if you can even have what you want in the first place. And for you, I know it's like with one session, you could take your client somewhere, but in order to make these bigger picture shifts to really land it in their life, having more time and more energy and more like literal investment from your client will give you the tools to be able to land what you're so good at landing in their life. And it also allows you to have more time and freedom and space and creativity for you to be even better at what you're doing. And then when we come to pricing ourselves, I know you're like, Alex, it's so scary to charge, blah, like money is scary. That's okay. You're not alone. I have to go through this process too. But when you're looking at pricing what your container would be, I want you to look at first the results of what someone would get if they just like gave you the keys. If they were like, I don't care what you tell me to do, I'm going to do it. Like I'm hanging on to your every word. I really just want to solve this problem that I know you can help me with. And you're like, okay, this is the amount of time I would need to work with you. These are the number of calls or whatever tools you need to do these practices in between calls, whatever you assign them to do. And then at the end, what would they be able to achieve? And sitting with that and being like, okay, well, they would start to heal their body, or they would start to have a better connection with themselves, or they would start to have a more intimate relationship with other people and having more depth in their relationships. And then after you write those down or think of those things, what do having those things give them? And then when you have a list of that, what do having those things give them? And at the end, you'll end up with something like, wow, freedom, more abundance, feeling sexy, feeling really good about themselves, not having to worry about health issues and trusting their body. And then I would say to you, well, how much is that worth? And then you would be like, I don't know, like $1 million, or I can't even put a price on it. And it's like, okay, great. So we understand the value of the container you're putting together. And then we pendulate. We pendulate between finding the top end. So the top end of a number that you would price yourself at would be something that you can barely say it out loud while still staying in your body, but you need to be able to stay in your body and say it from your solar plexus when you say it. And then the low end would be like, you don't feel heavy and shitty when you say it, but it's like, okay, I would show up and I could show up as my whole self for that. And so using our body to really feel into what's your high and what's your low on those numbers. And then landing somewhere in between is usually where I like to land, depending on what mood you're in. If you're in, I really just need to know I have money coming in and my nervous system really can't handle taking big leaps right now. Okay, great. Go for the low end. Or if you're like, no, fuck this shit, I'm ready to run it. Like, let's go for the high end and see what happens. There's obviously a lot more to this in how we would personalize finding your own perfect price, how we would hone in on exactly what your offer should be, exactly who the clients match this next embodiment that you're about to step into, and also how to put together the right copy and messaging to be able to connect with those clients that match your next embodiment. But this is definitely enough to get you going and to kick up some dust on how you think of how you value your offers and how you start to put yourself out there. So try it out. Let me know how it lands. Like literally comment or DM me and let me know how it lands. And if you want to hone in on exactly how this would apply to you and get really specific on exactly what your container should be to match this next embodiment of who you are and who your business is, and hone in on who your ideal client is, hone in on your perfect pricing and messaging to connect with that client, I am taking new clients, so you can visit the link in my bio to book a one-to-one session with me.